All right, everybody, welcome in. This is another Stormgate cast. I'm Algorithmore, and this is a user-submitted replay from a friend in the Discord. This is Frozen Death Knight. And he said to me, do you want some silver level play? And I said, of course. But let's be clear. In Stormgate, even if you're in the Silver League, you're probably pretty highly ranked RTS player. Most of the folks in the community right now are folks that take it pretty seriously. And if you're playing ladder, even though you might be silver ranked, I've played with Frozen Death Knight before, and I would definitely count him as a platinum player at least, if not diamond. So we'll see. Although he has opened with the famed and fabled Mushroom Shrine. Did not introduce his opponent here. This is going to be Adur. Adur. And welcome to the channel there, Adur. Frozen Death Knight's been on before. Not in a 1v1 match, I don't think, but that's because we've played a number of free-for-alls and 2v2s that have likely shown up on the channel before. This is going to be a Infernal versus Infernal, and so far they've opened very, very eco-y. Very, very eco-y. We saw Shrine, lots of shrines going down here, whereas it's Gaunts with very fast upgrades for Frozen Death Knight, so he's going straight into Ritual Chamber. One thing you will see with these so-called silver level play is we're definitely off the meta, the master level meta here, with the Mushroom Shrine to start out, getting some Therium going. That's got to be to power all these crazy Gaunt plans that are going on over here. Meanwhile, we do have our production structures up here, a vault, but Adur has been going more the traditional, like, I'm going to pump a ton of Luminite imps out so I can get base after base after base, and is already working on the third base here. Now that's the third shrine for Adur, that we still have 3 shrines for Frozen Death Knight too. We're up to 2 conclaves, third one on the way.
Detected. A Stormgate will activate soon.
And we have a Hexen out. Oh my goodness. But that looks like we're getting Gaunt upgrade. Oh, Hexen upgrades is queued up. So we've got our soul bland chakrams. The blandest of the chakrams out there. Need some spice. Dave's just finished off, and we're starting to get our adept training, which will bring our mines. I can't remember, they got to change. They're no longer venom traps. They're something mines, I think. Got a name change, that's all. They still work the same way. And it looks like a Frozen Death Knight heading out towards this, whereas Adur just has Brutes back home. Nice little defensive SimCity with some tribute pyres here. Has not yet knocked down his tree, so isn't worried about that. Of course, could get a surprise. And extra vaults being added, and brute charge on the way. So looks like Adur is going for brutes, which is a pretty common Infernal versus Infernal strategy here. But it's Gaunts coming out of Frozen Death Knight, and he captured the first Stormgate. Let's see what we get out of that. Is this our Shadow Mark, which is going to upgrade some production. Oh, this could be a real nice place to pop it down. I imagine that will be where it goes. More forward conclaves going down, as well as some farms, tribute pyres. And in comes the Shadow Mark to upgrade all. Very nicely done. And out comes the first Weaver from the Shadow Mark buildings. I think that also increases your research time, or it speeds up your research time. Let's see if it says this here. Construction speed, production speed, and recharge rate. Okay, maybe not research. Maybe not. We hear the cock-a-doodle-doo of the morning. And Frozen Death Knight has not yet gone for a third base, instead going for another Mushroom Shrine. So really doubling down on the Therium miners. Whereas this base is up and saturated for Adur, so Adur is coming out here It's a lot of mineral lead, luminite lead probably. And it's turned into a supply lead of 30 with a ton of brutes. Is this all brutes? Looks like it is. Oh no, there's Hellborn in there. Hellborn and brute look the same to me, so they need a little bit of work. 1, 2, 3 Hellborn there. Help, a little work to help keep them distinguished. Nothing worse than an undistinguished Hellborn. You know what I'm saying? I know you know what I'm saying because you are very distinguished yourself. I know that because you are here watching this great silver level play. And one thing we will say, if we need to comment on the level a bit, you know, I camp in my base a little bit too. You know, especially when people tell you, hey, you lose if you attack. And sometimes you sit back and you camp in your base.
Dimensional rift detected. A Stormgate will activate soon.
For Frozen Death Knight, that means he is going to go for that third base, which is a little late timing. But given that this is his 5th shrine, and he's got, wow, 11 miners up here and 9 miners down there. You need to transfer some of them. He is up to 700 Ethereum here. So Mushroom Shine's definitely paying in. He spent it all. Jeepers. What did he spend it on? Weavers? Hexa? Brutes are like, we do damage. And Hellborn in the back. Yikes. Vile Lurker pops. Pops in the front. No lashes yet. Weaver going down. There's a lash. Looks like it missed. Gaunt's in the back here. Just hoping they're not going to become all that's left. And yikes. They do get a little bit of wiped there. That did not look good for Frozen Death Knight. Although he did, you know, manage to kill some units. A lot of this supply, I think, is reinforcements running in. More Hellborn. So there is a pretty big supply lead for Adur. And I think marching across the map might be the right thing to do right now. Meanwhile, Frozen Death Knight's got secret tech. We got the blood tree on the way. We know what that means. That's brigands. Are there extra spires somewhere? Don't see them. And no 4th base here yet, although there is a 4th base on the way for Adur. And it's more building up in our bases now. More silver level play coming up as we don't want to attack until we have a nice juicy army we think can deal with our opponent. Now, of course, Frozen Death Knight has reason to camp back in his base, which is he just lost a battle, and if you're not ahead, if you don't feel ahead, you don't want to be out on the map except maybe doing a drop or some other kind of harass. Some of these Hellborn here are a little low. This poor low one, not enough on the shroud to be healing up. Needs to just scooch its way over a tad. Frozen Death Knight has now gone for a 4th base. Interestingly, skipping this base. I imagine that's for the Therium. What do we have here? Little forward farms. Another little forward farm over here. This helps scout army movement. I like it. Still a lot of Therium being mined, but it's being spent. Now this is oversaturated now. There's only 3 or 4 patches there. You need to take most of those workers off. You can even sit them down here, even though it's a long distance, you'll actually get income instead of them just sitting around doing nothing. Ooh, a Skull of Shedda. Haven't seen one of those in a long time. Forgot they even exist. But I guess if you play Hexens, you remember they exist. Really cool. Scouts out that there's no base over here.
A Stormgate will activate soon.
And wow, okay, so Frozen Death Knight decided to put up the 5th base quickly too, and now that puts him ahead in bases and has it saturated. It looks like lots of saturation out here.
A Stormgate has appeared.
Hasn't pulled workers off the Therium though to do that, so that's a lot of worker supply. And it's Gaunts and Spriggans back here, still with the Hexen. This Stormgate is just going to be going uncontested. Adur is going to take it down. His supply is up about 80. Going to pop out a deep one, of course, just to push that even further. And a ton of imps went the long way around over here. And then they're going to start long distance mining the long way around. I don't like that. That's a long walk. Okay, Adur, you are maxed out. You're maxed out. You're putting down your extra base. What you gonna do? You're gonna push across the map? That's what you should do. I think you've missed an opportunity to really take advantage of some of Frozen Death Knight's lack of supply here. Frozen Death Knight, speaking of supply, is going to lose a tribute pyre there, but that's what it was there for. We get Shroudfall on the whole map. I wonder if that's Adur. We get, a lot of target fire on the dragon, but it does not go down. The deep one's there. It's going to be focus fired by some Spriggans. It goes down. Bruce came running around the top side. They ran into some Magmadons up there. Magmadons do go down. There's a Weaver up there too. The Spriggans on the low ground are going for Hellborn. They're just going wild, 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 boy. Meanwhile, the Brutes on the high ground are having a hard time to make it through the Sim City here. And a lot of them are not making any kind of contact on the Gaunts. We see the Hellborn moving up. They're trying to get in position, but they're just on move command. They can turn and attack now. Yeah, they turn to attack. There are, interestingly, some Frozen Death Knight Hellborn on the low ground that do go down. Spriggans are what's winning this battle for Frozen Death Knight right now. And Adur's just hoping he can come in and put down enough damage, but not really focusing his units on the buildings and such. And that means that, there we go, he does take out one base up at the top. Not going to get the damage he needs to while sacrificing all these Hellborn and Brutes into the Spriggan Air Force. Does kill one base. And run some Brutes home. So all that turned into a maxed out rush across the map that was won by the secret tech of Frozen Death Knight, which was the Spriggans. Secret tech can win you the game. Can also lose you the game. Here comes some Shadow Flyers into Shadow Flyers. Shadow Flyer on Shadow Flyer violence, as I've said in the past. The worst kind of violence in the Stormgate universe. Don't like to see it. Here comes some Shadow Flyers onto the Spriggans. Oh, so much Spriggan guts on the ground. Blah. But enough survived that they're still going to be a big problem here. Oh, more Shadow Flyers. Yikes. What are they looking for? They're looking for that Spire. Oh, Shadow Flyers show up and they're like, yeah, I dare you go for my Spire. That was wise to go for the Spire, but no. The Shadow Flyer's locked on. Oh, he's locked onto the other one. Oh, pretty good control there. Sorry for my crazy vocalizations. Hopefully I'm not yelling in your ear. And Adur once again is like, well, I can't fight your air because I haven't prepared for that. So I'm just going to send all my units over here. Oh, and I like how he's got a few Shadow Flyers over here to try and say, hey, if there's more Spriggans going to come, at least I've got some Shadow Flyers to defend my ground army. And here they come. Oh, Spriggans! Dead. All the Shadow Flyers mostly sacrificed too. Only a few left. Brutes and Hellborn versus Brutes and Hellborn. Where are the rest of the Spriggies? We've got some Hexen showing up. They're going Skull of Shedda wild. Get ready for Skull of Shedda, baby. Because that's what we're here for. Gaunt's coming down. They'll put down their curse. Shadow Flyers keep taking care of any new Spriggans that show up. But this attack force from Adur once again looks like it's going to get chased home, or in this case actually wiped out. That's where our Spriggans were. They were like, we're going for a Stormgate over here. Like I like to say, it's the name of the game. Might as well get a Stormgate in here. Might as well capture one or two. Why not? Maybe you'll win the game. In this case, we got FDK, Frozen Death Knight, capturing this one. What's it going to get? Last was a deep one. We're gonna get another deep one, double deep one. Boom. We get whatever that is. Oh, it's a storm caller. Oh no. Poor Bruce trying to find somewhere where they're safe from the storm. They cannot. What better thing to come out of the Stormgate other than a storm caller? And it's like, I know there's a battle going on. I just want to watch storm caller kill. Bye bye amps. Screw. Oh, so many dead squishy amps. Oh, that's sad to see. Sad to see. But there is actually some... Okay, it's not really a battle. It's just more damage going down. In fact, the reinforcements from Adur did take out a couple Hellborn there. But Spriggan's up here. Brutes can't jump. You know, you've heard it here before. If you have been on my channel, you know one thing is true. Brutes cannot jump. What can they do? Try and run across the map, but they're Magmadons. Slow Magmadons, looks like. Yeah, no upgrades at all, actually. And these poor brutes aren't going to get any damage done. They're just looking for somewhere where they can deal damage. And they're like, oh, here are all the spires. Where are the imps? Oh no, it's mined out. What about these imps? Also mined out. That was just a good old-fashioned parade where you run all your units through the base on move command. But yeah, that was a parade to end the game. Thank you, Frozen Death Knight, for the submission, and thank you, Adur, for playing a good game.